Hi everybody, it's Miss Sarah and Storytime. We're going to do it virtually for the next few weeks, so thank you for joining us. As you can see, who do I have here? Kermit the Frog. I can't talk like him, but he's going to help us read. And this is Charlie the Frog, my other little friend. My first book today is called Showtime for Flip Flop. Look at Miss Flip Flop. She's a frog and she's got a pirate hat on. It's written by Janice, Levy, and illustrated by Colleen, Madden. So what do you guys think this book is going to be about? A showtime. I bet there's kids involved and a stage and maybe a play. It's showtime, Miss Hopper said. Let's put on a school play. Flip Flop, you will be frog number 3. Flip Flop hid under a lily pad and groaned. What if I forget what to say? What if I fall off the stage? Everyone will laugh at me. Flip Flop took out her crayons. She drew a monster frog atop the school flagpole. It was dropping mud pies on Mrs. Hopper's head. After lunch, the frogs went on stage to practice. This little froggy hopped high, said frog number 1. This little froggy hopped low, said frog number 2. Mrs. Hopper pointed to Flip Flop. Flip Flop looked up. She wiggled her toes. She took a deep breath. She opened her mouth, and nothing came out. Everyone laughed. Sit down, Flip Flop, Mrs. Hopper said. You'll try again tomorrow. Flip Flop took out her crayons. She drew a raft of frogs sinking into the sea, surrounded by pirates. She drew Mrs. Hopper walking the plank. I must say, Flip Flop's a very good artist, isn't she? The next day, things got worse. Flip Flop felt like a fish swimming in her stomach and flies were stuck in her throat. She was sweaty and goosebumpy at the same time. She tripped going up the steps of the stage. Oh no, poor Flip Flop. The little froggy hopped high, said frog number 1. This little froggy hopped low, said frog number 2. Mrs. Hopper pointed to Flip Flop. Flip Flop looked down. She wiggled her toes. She took a deep breath. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out except for a burp. Burp. Everyone laughed. Flip Flop crawled behind a bush. She took out her crayons and drew frogs in a black bubbling pot. She drew Mrs. Hopper in a witch's hat. She was so busy she didn't hear her teacher calling. Oh my gosh, there's Mrs. Hopper. There's the frogs in the pot. Pumpkin bats. Suddenly a shadow fell across the page. Flip Flop looked up. Is that me? Mrs. Hopper asked. She tapped her foot and frowned. Do I have to be a frog number 3? Flip Flop croaked. I have a better idea. She whispered into Mrs. Hopper's ear. What do you think she told her? So, on the day of the play, the pond was packed with frogs. See all the little froggies? And then that's the stage and all the lily pads that they're sitting on. Mrs. Hopper drew the curtain. Welcome to our show, she said. All our beautiful scenery was done by our class artist, Flip Flop. So Flip Flop got to use all her crayons and draw the beautiful background of the play. Flip-Flop looked down. She wiggled her toes. She took a deep breath. Then she smiled and didn't say a word. Everyone was clapping. The end. That's a great story. Everybody's got something that they're good at, don't they? What are you guys good at? I'm good at reading. How about you? So our next book is The Wide-Mouthed Frog. It's a pop-up book. This is one of my favorites and my mother's favorites, so we just love it. So I'm going to put it down here, and we are going to read it together. Hi, this is the story of The Wide-Mouthed Frog by Keith Faulkner and illustrated by Jonathan Lambert. Hi, I'm the wide-mouthed frog, and I eat flies, said the wide-mouthed frog, shooting out his long, sticky tongue, trying to snatch up flies. As he hopped along, he met a blue-feathered bird. I'm a wide-mouthed frog, and I eat flies, said the wide-mouthed frog. What do you eat, bird? I eat wiggly worms and slugs, replied the bird, snapping his pointy beak. Next, the wide-mouthed frog met a funny brown mouse. I'm a wide-mouthed frog, and I eat flies, said the wide-mouthed frog. What do you eat, mouse? I eat crunchy seeds and juicy berries, replied the mouse, wiggling her whiskers. Oh, look at this guy. The wide-mouthed frog was still catching flies when he saw a big green alligator. I'm a wide-mouthed frog, and I eat flies, said the wide-mouthed frog. What do you eat, alligator? I eat delicious wide-mouthed frogs, replied the alligator, showing his sharp white teeth. Oh no. The wide-mouthed frog stopped catching flies and gulped. Then he puckered up his lips, made his mouth as small as possible, and said, Ooh, you don't see many of them around here, do you? He said, and he leaped into the pond with a splash. So what do you guys think of that? So we'll see you next week, 10:30. You can see us on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook page, and there's always going to be someone special to read you a story. Have a great week.